Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description.
So this one might be kind of short and sweet, but it's an idea I've been kicking around in my head due to all the Magick for Hire stuff that I've been doing lately, because my, my workings on there has been pretty much every week I'm getting clients and stuff. If you're interested in that, definitely shoot me an email, or comment, things like that. Just get in contact with me, we can talk about it. But, especially if you're interested in stuff, I might even send this video to some future clients just because of the subject matter. But, the big idea of, I always get asked, how long or what's the timetable or what's the timeline of, of your spell work of Magick. And, I've done some research on like what other people that do Magick for Hire say about it, and even my own thoughts on various things that I've done where, how long did it take to manifest? And the idea is that it's mutable. If these things were set in stone and you could scientifically analyze these kinds of things. Oh, it has an 80% probability of being 28 days or less. The moment that you could take Magick and you could, put some statistical analysis on it or make it concrete with answers and stuff like that, then that's when Magick would be believable by everybody, because then they could say that if you do this, here's the amount of probability that this will happen. It's almost like the medical stuff where people that, engage in X behavior have a certain percentage of blah, blah, blah outcome. And Magick just doesn't work like that. You got to think of the amount of possibilities from this moment where I am right now to any other particular moments that I could bring myself into. There's so many different pathways. You're talking permutations, which is multiplication upon multiplication of this possibility and this one, or this one and then the 10 next that could happen after that. The amount of possibilities thus make the math, almost incalculable. It's even the idea of, I had somebody reach out to me when I posted a thing about Magick for Hire on, hey, if you have any experience in winning the lottery, please let me know. I'd want to hire you. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I think I made a video on this a while back, but I'm sitting there thinking, if that was a thing that people would, if I could win the lottery, don't you think I would have done that by now? If I could win the lottery, don't you think, if I could use Magick to win the lottery, don't you think that would be like the number one selling point on all of my Magick stuff? And pretty soon you'd hear about some dude that wins the Powerball say, yeah, I had so-and-so do a spell for me, and now I won the lottery. And then next thing you know, I got people coming to me up the wazoo, asking them to help, where they're asking me to help them win the lottery. And before you know it, I got the government sniffing down my neck because how is he making everybody win the lottery, all this stuff. The problem with stuff like the lottery is that the concepts are the concept of a certain amount of money. Let's say, what was the last Powerball, over like $320 million or something? You know what I mean? I can say that, but can I really conceptualize that amount of money? No, I can conceptualize that little number, but what does that entail? All the different details of where that money comes from and that entire situation of, I don't even know how you would go there, like winning the ticket or scratching those numbers off and then winning, and then where do I go and who do I talk to and whose hand do I shake and I get that big check and all this stuff. All that stuff is so incalculable to the mind that's why you can't visualize it, you can't perceive it, and therefore it's very, very difficult in order to create it. Now, I wanted to kind of tie that back with the, does Magick have a timeline kind of thing? Can I truly perceive all of the different avenues and roadblocks and things like that from point A where you are to point B where you want to go? No, right? So I can picture and visualize like the outcome because if you come to me asking for something, you know exactly what you want. You want to have this kind of job. You want to, move to this one place. You want to have this certain person that's talking to you to go away. You want to have this kind of relationship with a person. Okay, that's your end result. I get that. But, like anytime that, let's take relationships for an example. You get into a relationship with somebody when you finally define the relationship and whatever, and you have that moment where you really come together. That's all well, good and great, and woohoo, you won. But all those different steps and all the different things that it took to get there from, hey, you're totally single to, I don't know, maybe you meet this person on a dating app, or you happen to bump into them at a bar or a restaurant or like at some social event or whatever. All of those different events and details and stuff are so complex, and they're all, complex would be a perfect word for that I can't paint that entire roadmap. But, sometimes it takes people anywhere from a month or less to maybe a couple of months to build up that relationship with a person to the point of, I just met this person, to dating, or I've been friends with this person for a really long time, all the way to dating. But for each person, it's going to be different. Success isn't necessarily a straight line or a diagonal line from no success to success. There's ups and downs and things like that. And when you have magic that connects you from where you are to where you want to be, as long as you keep up with the idea of this possibility is within my grasp and I just have to keep working towards it, then we're always going to have roadblocks. Like I know the route from where I am to my friend's house, right? I know that route. So I know what my friend's house looks like, so I can see my goal, right? But if I'm driving, I might have people pulled over on the side of the road. I might have to, there might be a detour. I might hit all green lights, or I might hit all red lights. So I could say it takes me about 20 minutes to get to my friend's house, but it could take me even less than that if I hit all green lights and there's no traffic and nobody's driving stupid and and too far under the speed limit and whatnot, and no grandmas. Or I could hit all red lights in a detour and, maybe there's a bus route and I'm stuck behind the bus and it's dropping a bunch of kids off. The next thing you know, it takes me 45 minutes to get to my friend's house, right? So the amount of time that it might take for something to manifest is arguably unpredictable. But you have to keep working towards your goal, and you can make small increments and small steps. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So I'm going to take my foot off my soapbox now, but I'm hoping that I'm making a little bit of sense to you guys. Let me know down in the comments. Maybe you've had some magic done, or maybe you've done some magic where it took, maybe a day, or maybe it took a month, or maybe it took 6 months. Let me know what your experience with magic and timing has been. Good hunting.